underneath.
There was heat, there was smoke, but no explosion as the detonator apparently failed. Inside, police found propane tanks, bottles of gasoline, fireworks, a gun locker stuffed with bags of fertilizer, 2 alarm clocks, and lots of wires.
Clearly, it was the intent of whoever did this to cause mayhem, to create casualties. We're doing an in-depth analysis now of the material that was used.
A T-shirt vendor first noticed the vehicle and alerted police. He's a new city hero.
Your message, Lance, to the people of New York.
You see something, say something.
The Pathfinder is now being picked over in a forensic lab. Its license plate was changed, registration number defaced. And the target of this rolling bomb was the crossroads of America, Times Square on a busy Saturday night.
The smoke started coming out of the car, and I was like, whoa, That's when we first heard the popping sound, and it was like firecrackers going off. And then that's when everybody just ran down the street, I took off, everybody took off.
New York lives with the threat of attack. It is the city's fate now, whether homegrown or linked to enemies outside.
An act of terrorism?
It certainly looks that way. It certainly looks as if it was intended to be that way.
Police have a lot of leads in this case. For example, Times Square is littered with surveillance cameras. As for the claim by the Pakistani Taliban that they were responsible, the police say there's really no evidence to support that assertion, Sandy.
So, Paul, if it's not al-Qaeda in Pakistan, who do authorities think could be responsible?
Well, they know there's a connection to a garage in Connecticut. The police know who owned the Pathfinder. They know where the license plate came from. Have they ruled out a link to al-Qaeda? No. But Janet Napolitano, the Secretary for Homeland Security, believes this was a one-off attack and not part of a wider plot.
Thanks, Paul. CTV's Paul Workman in Washington tonight. Now to the U.S. Gulf Coast and the massive oil slick threatening wildlife and the livelihoods of tens of thousands of people. U.S. President Barack Obama flew in today for a first-hand look at the struggle to stop the spill and minimize the damage. The slick is moving east, threatening environmentally sensitive areas from Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle. Our coverage begins tonight with CTV's Tom Walters in Venice, Louisiana. Tom?
Well, Sandy, with no end in sight to the underwater gusher, the concern is not just that oil could hit any place on the Gulf Coast. It's that it could hit so many places. Aboard the vessel's Southern Belle, a few small fish are drying on the deck. But they won't make the payments on a 74-foot shrimp boat.
Very sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Owner Hung Tran has just spent thousands to get ready for the season.
How many new nets do you think?
10. We have 10.
A season that will likely never come.
We don't have the income in, and we don't know what can we do.
With the ocean still too rough for oil skimmers, 2 of them move some 15 kilometers up the Mississippi, away from the spill. A sign they won't be working anytime soon. This is about the only cleanup to be seen, but Plaquemine Parish Sheriff's deputies want to be ready for a visitor.
We're getting ready right now.
This long motorcade of black SUVs and various other government vehicles, including ambulances and media buses. This is President Obama.
5,500 feet, yes, sir.
Pretty close to shore.
And we've done a lot.
Obama made it clear that BP will be paying the bill, and he made a vow to the people of the Gulf Coast.
Your government will do whatever it takes, for as long as it takes, to stop this crisis.
But how long will it take? Back on the Southern Belle, Hong Tran now is worried her deckhands will leave.
I don't have money to pay for them, and they have to live in.
Son, too, worries he won't be able to send money home to his pregnant wife and 4-year-old son.
I don't have any money to send to Vietnam.
But for now, they are doing what everyone in the fishing industry here is doing.
Now we're waiting for the news.
Waiting. Waiting on a Southern Belle. Waiting on a Red Eagle. Waiting on a lucky day. In addition to the fishery, an urgent concern for wildlife authorities here is the brown pelican. This is a bird that only recently came off the endangered species list. And its critical breeding ground is a place called Breton Island, where eggs started hatching last week. Now, Fish and Wildlife authorities say they do have a boom around the island, and so far it's holding.
Sandy?
Okay, thanks, Tom. CTV's Tom Walters in Venice, Louisiana. And joining us now also in Venice is CTV's Lisa Laflamme. Lisa, I guess a big question is this, can they stop the slick before it spreads and does even more damage? So what's the current status on attempts to plug the leaking oil?
Well, today they did start drilling, Sandy, that first relief well, but that is a 3-month operation, so more immediate. None of these options are fast, though. They have those 6 robotic submersibles that have been hovering down there for a few days now, trying to shut off that valve. But for some reason, the valve just is not responding, and BP has no idea why this technology is not working. But today, the CEO said this is like doing open heart surgery 5,000 feet down in the dark. So no easy operation. Their third option, if you will, is these 3 massive container boxes, steel and concrete. They're like upside down garbage cans. They will be lowered down to shut off those 3 leaks that are happening. But even that will take at least 8 days before those boxes are made and here on the site.
Well, Lisa, they've been using the words impending disaster. From what you've seen today, is there any evidence of this yet?
Well, there's lots of evidence on the ride from New Orleans here to the Gulf. It's about a 2-hour drive. We already saw the very 1st Battalion of National Guard, truckloads full of sandbags. They're trying to shore up the levees. Those bags are full of chemicals. So when the oil does arrive, it will suck up the oil rather than it going inland. But this is spreading. It's tripled in size in just 2 days, and the weather is not cooperating.
CTV's Lisa Laflamme, Louisiana. Thanks, Lisa. Now, that same weather system that whipped up those winds in the Gulf also spawned a series of deadly thunderstorms in Mississippi and Tennessee. The heavy rain caused widespread flash flooding. At least 15 people died. Traffic cameras captured this remarkable sight on a Nashville highway. You can see cars, trucks, even a school portable floating by. Another camera shows people escaping their submerged cars as the force of the current tosses them like toys. Tennessee mobilized the National Guard to help rescue hundreds of stranded motorists. The flooding follows 2 days of heavy rain, and more is in the forecast. When CTV National News returns, the Governor General gets the high five. The optics of this unprecedented public endorsement from the Leader of the Opposition.
I'm a WestJetter, and I make more than promises. I make guarantees.
I guarantee we'll get you where you're going, safely and on time.
I guarantee we'll continue to offer low prices and great value.
We guarantee you'll get 2 free check bags.
I guarantee we'll never overbook your flight.
I guarantee I will always take care of your precious cargo.
I guarantee all these things because I'm a WestJet owner and owners care.
Owners care.
All you need is imagination. All you need is cheese.
To the Internet Kingdom. Download complete. Well done. You're going fast, James. So fast.
Videotron, Natalie speaking. How may I help you?
Deciding on a crossover? The 2010 Buick Enclave has a 5-star crash safety rating, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy Award, and uses only 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway. That's how it goes from your long list to your short list to the only one on your list. And now, for a limited time, get a $750 Goodwrench card, good for your maintenance and service needs. Buick, the new class of world class.
Through no fault of her own, Governor General Michaëlle Jean is at the center of a budding political controversy tonight. It was touched off by Liberal leader Michael Ignatieff, who said her term of office should be extended. To say that, as the 5-year term draws to a close, is a break with tradition, and there's unhappiness in the Prime Minister's office, where a search for a successor is already underway. CTV's Roger Smith has that story.
With her term ending in September, Michaëlle Jean hosted an annual arts gala knowing it was her last. But it won't be if Michael Ignatieff gets his way.
The right way to go here is to reappoint Michaëlle Jean. We think that she's done a great job for Canada.
In a surprising pitch on a traditionally non-partisan appointment, the Liberal leader says he was asked privately to suggest a replacement and decided to go public.
We just think that somebody ought to get up and say, bravo, Michaëlle Jean.
There have been extensions. Adrienne Clarkson, for example, got an extra year, but never a debate beforehand. Ignatieff is raising eyebrows by siding with the woman who may yet have to rule on an election or constitutional dispute.
Shows bad judgment.
This constitutional expert says it put Jean in an awkward spot.
It pulls the Governor General into partisan politics. It was a very unusual intervention. I really think unprecedented and unwise.
I don't think there are constitutional implications. I don't think this needs to be a partisan matter.
Dismissing criticism, Ignatieff insisted there should be public debate, and it seems he may be trying to ride popular coattails.
I think she absolutely should get an extension. She's done a great job. She's shown a lot of bravery.
I think they should give her a little bit more time. I think she's been doing pretty good.
I think it's time for someone new.
In this internal memo obtained by CTV, the Conservatives say they consulted on the appointment for the first time ever, and Ignatieff blundered by speaking out. At the same time, the memo warns Tory MPs not to comment. Ignatieff's partisan gaffe, it says, speaks for itself. Roger Smith, CTV News, Ottawa.
Here in North America, we've seen some big bailouts of car companies and U.S. financial institutions, for example. But Europe just threw a very expensive lifeline to a whole nation. The countries that use the euro as currency have agreed to rescue Greece's faltering economy with close to $150 billion in loans. As CTV's Omar Sachedino reports, this will be followed by an austerity program that will leave all Greeks feeling the pain.
Finance ministers from across the European Union walking into an emergency meeting walked out having made history, not by choice, but by necessity. A multi-billion-dollar bailout for Greece, the first time any of the 16 countries in the Eurozone has needed one.
We will follow this road because this is the only road to be able to save the country. And we're absolutely convinced that in doing so, we will have the vast majority of Greek citizens behind us.
But the destruction on the streets, an indication many Greeks are not behind the government. A bomb shattering the entrance to this bank in the capital. Athens home to a string of protests in recent days. Demonstrators fuming over the government's new austerity measures. Choked by debt and desperate for cash, the government agreed to contentious conditions to secure the bailout, slashing public sector wages, raising taxes, and for some, raising the retirement age. The policies they're enacting take away the long-fought rights of the working class, he says. It forces us to resist. But this economist says the alternative would be far worse. Letting Greece fail could trigger an economic collapse across Europe, with indirect effects felt here at home.
If we ran into a situation where governments in Europe were defaulting on their debt, this would cause financial losses. It would raise borrowing costs for financial institutions around the world. And as we saw in late 2008, the global financial system is remarkably interconnected.
The total cost of Greece's bailout, more than $148 billion, doled out over the next 3 years by the International Monetary Fund and the European Union. And with that big check, the promise of another big outcry. Greek workers planning a general strike on Wednesday. Omar Sachedino, CTV News, Toronto.
There is word that a deal has been reached to create the world's largest airline. Sources say Continental and United have agreed to merge. The company that owns United is expected to buy Continental for $3.2 billion. The new airline would be called United Airlines and would be based in Chicago. The deal must still be approved by U.S. antitrust regulators. In other news, Pope Benedict prayed before the Shroud of Turin, the linen that some believe is the burial cloth of Jesus Christ and others say is a fake. It's on display for the first time in 10 years in a cathedral in Turin, Italy. The Pope described the artifact as an icon written in blood, although he did not definitively say the shroud was that of Jesus. And Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad has left Tehran for New York to attend a United Nations conference on nuclear weapons. During his last visit to the city in September, several hotels refused to give rooms to the Iranian delegation. Now, a group called United Against Nuclear Iran is also urging dozens of hotels to shut their doors to the Iranian president. There is much more ahead on CTV National News, but first, here's a preview of what's coming up in your local CTV News.
I'm Paul Karwanski. Tonight, he was charged in a gang-related shooting in 2007. Now he's headed to prison days after another man confessed to the crime. We'll have the details coming up after the national news.
CTV News at 11:30.
Which crossover would you choose? Highway fuel efficiency rating of only 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers? The 5-star crash safety rating? Or a Consumer's Digest Best Buy? Or all of the above? The 8-passenger Buick Enclave. May the best car win.
Who has time to make mashed potatoes? With all the washing, the peeling, the cutting, the peeling, the cutting. But what if we helped with all that peeling and cutting? New McCain Purely Potatoes. Already washed, peeled, and cut. You just steam, season, and mash. McCain Purely Potatoes. Also available in sweet potato. McCain. It's all good.
If you think your septic system treatment is working, this could happen to you. You need CLR septic system treatment. Pour it in any drain or toilet in your house at any time, day or night. There's simply no waiting. It instantly races into your system to break down the toughest organic matter. Even waste left by other treatments that can actually harm your system. And it leaves your drains ready to use immediately. Crystal Clear Sparkling Blue CLR Septic System Treatment was developed in partnership with the EPA, so you know it's safe for your septic system, the environment, and your family. And it's from the family of CLR products you already know and trust. Environmentally safe with no additives or preservatives, 3 economical treatments per bottle, and the CLR money-back guarantee. Use fast-acting CLR septic system treatment for your monthly septic maintenance. And you'll know it's working every step of the way.
At participating Canadian Tire, Home Hardware and Building Centers, Rona, Co-op Stores, The Bargain Shop, Pro Ace, True Value Hardware, VNS, Walmart.
Enterprise. Hi, I'm at the repair shop. I need to rent a car.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by Nikki, the new album from vocal sensation Nikki Yanofsky. Available now.
Solemn ceremonies were held across the country today to commemorate the Battle of the Atlantic and the 2,000 Canadian sailors who died at sea. But there was also a special ceremony on a Navy ship in the Halifax harbor for veterans who survived the battle but passed away in the last year. CTV's Kayla Hounsell reports from HMCS Sackville, which is also a veteran of the Second World War.
A Sea King dropped a wreath as HMCS Sackville pulled out of Halifax Harbor to recognize a historic battle. Shirley Bates has come from Toronto to commit her husband's ashes and give him a burial at sea.
It was great, really, but it was kind of upsetting.
The Skellhorns say they had to come.
When he married my mother, he gave up the sea. And when he passed away in February, my mother wanted to give him back to the sea, so that's what we did to her today.
I think he belongs to the sea because he loved the sea all his life.
Today's ceremony is perhaps more moving because it's on this ship. There were 300 corvettes used in World War II. HMCS Sackville is the only one left in the world. The The Battle of the Atlantic was the longest campaign of the Second World War. It was successful. The Royal Canadian Navy and the Merchant Navy made nearly 26,000 safe crossings, carrying more than 181 million tons of supplies to Europe. But it was not without cost. Canada lost more than 2,000 sailors and 24 ships.
Oh God, our help in ages past.
William Courage operated the engine of a ship just like this one in the Second World War. He says he finds it difficult to explain what this day means to him.
To see those remains of so many men and think of all those who never had a committal of ashes like that because their bodies lie in the deep.
Kayla Hounsell, CTV News, on board HMCS Sackville.
Anniversary memorials are part of how Canada honors its war dead. But what about the living? Well, a recent survey in the United States found a shocking 26% of homeless Americans are veterans. It's unclear how many Canadian soldiers end up on the streets, but now they have another option. CTV's Vancouver Bureau Chief Rob Brown looks at Canada's first shelter for homeless veterans.
They serve their country without question, but when they return to Canada, some soldiers can't handle civilian life.
Sometimes when people come back and they've experienced very tumultuous and traumatic experiences, if they don't have a good support network in place or they don't have advanced coping skills, they may end up falling through the cracks.
Falling so hard, some end up here, living on the streets of Vancouver's downtown east side, Canada's poorest postal code. 10 months ago, Veterans Affairs started looking for homeless vets in this city. So far, they've found 33.
I was thinking around the range of 10 or 15. So the fact that we've seen 33 within such a small, condensed community is concerning.
Nobody knows how many Canadian veterans are homeless. Work has only just begun trying to identify them. But Canada's Veterans Ombudsman says with the mission in Afghanistan about to come to an end, the number of ex-soldiers on the street is about to increase.
And it's important that we get the safety net established to prevent them from becoming embedded in the homeless lifestyle.
He'd like to see more of this. Victoria's Cockrell House, a shelter for homeless vets like Luke Carmichael.
And here I am at 69 years of age, and I'm starting to come back to alive again.
He spent 19 years in the armed forces, including a stint in Cyprus. It left him broken. Carmichael had been living in the bush until hearing about Cockrell House. Now he has a roof over his head, food, and most importantly, a support system. The people behind the shelter have identified homeless vets who served as far back as the Second World War.
Cockrell House is a tremendous initiative.
Still, Pat Strogren points out the shelter is privately funded. The retired colonel is calling on Ottawa to step up with more support for its vets, saying it's time their country started serving them. Rob Brown, CTV News, Vancouver.
When we return, how clowning around can reach children who can't otherwise be reached. That's next on CTV National News.
Here's a fact. The all-new Chevrolet Equinox gets better highway fuel efficiency than Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, or Ford Escape Hybrid. Here are two more facts. It uses just 6.1 liters per 100 highway kilometers and has a driving range of up to 1,100 highway kilometers. Here's one more fact. With such great fuel efficiency, you'll be filling up your camera more than your Equinox. Great on gas, great on price. Winner of a Consumer's Digest Best Buy Award. The all-new 2010 Chevrolet Equinox.
Today's Dr. Oz Minute is brought to you by Colgate Total Advanced Health.
Drinking lots of fluids like good old-fashioned H2O is important for your health, especially during the hot summer months. Now, by water, I mean water, not soft drinks or sports drinks filled with empty calories like high fructose corn syrup that leave you bloated and can put on weight faster than you can burn it off. Now, how do you know you're getting enough? Well, here's a quick test you can do in the bathroom. Check to see if your urine is clear. The rule of thumb is that you should be able to read a newspaper through it. Use a filter for any drinking water that comes out of the faucet to get rid of bacteria and impurities. And avoid plastic bottles that can have unhealthful chemicals. Instead, choose stainless steel or aluminum versions like this. Water keeps you regular, it stamps out hunger, and it fights bad breath. So drink up.
A healthy mouth is an important part of a healthy body. Trust Colgate Total Advanced Health for a healthier mouth. It fights germs for 12 hours. Colgate Total, the #1 choice of dental professionals.
Make the most of your backyard with Canadian Tire.
Some people have a fear of clowns, but generally they make you smile, right? Well, now it seems the antics of clowns can also have serious benefits. Canadian researchers have become the first to measure whether clowns can help children who have trouble communicating. CTV's medical specialist Avis Favreau tells us what they discovered.
This is Ricky and Dr. Flap, therapeutic clowns designed to entertain and engage children at the Bloorview Kids Rehab Hospital.
Thanks, Dr. Flap.
Yeah, you're very welcome. But the clowns had a question. Were they actually reaching children who were not responsive?
The reality that we're in, which is there's a lot about them that we don't know.
If we can be used as a tool to find out more information about the ability of these kids to communicate, we welcome them.
And so began a unique research project where scientists studied 8 children disabled by brain injuries and cerebral palsy.
We don't know how to get into their world, and there's very few things that happen in their lives that we can objectively study.
They used devices to monitor their heart rate, breathing, and skin temperatures while the children watched TV and during visits by the clowns. To their surprise, the scientists found the children didn't respond much to television, but the readings showed they all seemed excited by the presence of the clowns.
They were having a huge reaction to what was going on around them. Even though you couldn't see it with the naked eye, was just super exciting because it really validated that there's a person inside.
We didn't know for sure, and now that we are hearing that there is a reaction, it's amazing.
It sparked discussion for further research.
It allows for parents, especially, to begin to find ways to communicate with their children using other means.
It also suggests the clowns are more than just passing entertainment for these disabled kids. They are a new tool reaching the person inside. Avis Favreau, CTV News, Toronto.
That's our newscast for this Sunday. Thank you for being with us this weekend. I'm Sandy Ronaldo. Lloyd Robertson will be here tomorrow. Have a good night and a good week ahead, and I will see you tomorrow afternoon on CTV News Channel. Coming up now, your local CTV News. Good night for now.
Where are they? They never came this way.
It just might be the perfect jewelry heist as the team finally met their match.
These guys are good.
CSI Miami at a special time tomorrow at 8, 7 Central on CTV.
Tonight, hope is alive and well in Montreal.
They got to pass Pittsburgh for sure.
The Habs take Game 2 from the defending Stanley Cup champions. Plus, a shooting in Côte-des-Neiges, a 30-year-old man is in hospital. And you never know what you'll find.
We found a sleeping bag, really old out there.
Cleaning up Montreal's pride and joy.
CTV News with Paul Karwatsky.
Good evening. Well, after a disappointing loss against the defending Stanley Cup champs on Friday, Habs fans got a chance to celebrate today. The Canadians took Game 2 against the Pittsburgh Penguins thanks to another stellar performance by Yaroslav Halak. As Aphrodite Salas reports, it means hope is still alive here in Montreal.
They called it a beautiful finish to a well-played game.
Very good. Go on, go.
Fans are already talking about the next step in this series.
They got to pass Pittsburgh for sure. I don't know after that. We got to see.
With every single score, a celebration. Surely there were a lot of high fives across Montreal.
Right in front of the net, he scores.
Camilleri played like a champ, they said, and Halak saved like one too.
As long as he's doing save like that, he's staying strong, and we'll be okay. We only need one win at Pittsburgh, and we win the cup.
How loud crowd do you think the Bell Centre is going to be when the Habs come home for the next round?
It's going to be a hard-fought series. I think it's going to be in 7, probably in overtime.
Game 3 is here in Montreal on Tuesday night. With any luck, the Habs will use that hometown advantage for another win. Aphrodite Salas, CTV News.
Pretty exciting stuff. And stay tuned for full game coverage on sports with Paul Grafe and Brian Wild, who was, of course, in Pittsburgh for the game today. Police are investigating a shooting tonight in the Côte-des-Neiges borough. A man driving north Victoria was shot in the chest near the intersection of Mackenzie. The victim, in his 30s, is in hospital in stable condition. Witnesses told police a 4x4 truck with 3 people inside left the scene soon after the shooting. Police aren't sure if the occupants are involved, but they are looking for the vehicle. And there was another attempted murder, this one involving a machete. A man jumped out of a car brandishing the weapon and attacked a woman on the streets of Lévis. He struck her in the back 3 times before she was able to get away. Witnesses were able to subdue the 25-year-old man until police arrived. There was a 1-year-old child in the car at the time of the attack. The infant, luckily, was unharmed. A guilty verdict has been reached in a trial of a man accused of murder days after another man confessed to the crime. A jury found Woody Aristide guilty in the shooting death of Gabriel Dominique. Dominique was shot in St. Leonard back in 2007. Last week, a friend of Aristide's confessed to the crime. The Charter of Rights would have protected him from facing a murder charge because he was a witness, but the jury didn't buy his story, and Aristide now faces life in prison for second-degree murder. Veterans from the Second World War were commemorating the Battle of the Atlantic today. They took part in a parade downtown at the Clock Tower at the Old Port. Also, there were members of the Royal Canadian Legion Sea Cadets, as well as many who served in the Canadian Navy. The Battle of the Atlantic raged from September 1939 until the end of the war in May 1945, 65 years ago this month. By controlling shipping routes throughout the North Atlantic, Canada and the U.S. were able to send supplies to Great Britain and Russia to help fight the Nazis. Quebec's launching the second phase of a program to help newly arrived immigrants get jobs in the province. The government will spend $1 million on projects that will employ as many as 600 immigrants. It's called Défi Montréal. Part of the program, setting up mentoring to help qualified immigrants such as engineers land jobs with suitable companies. Well, dozens of dedicated Montrealers put their own spring cleaning on hold today in order to take care of this city's mountain. The annual Mount Royal cleanup was taking place today. Every year, it's an event defined by community togetherness, a love for the environment, and more than a few unusual discoveries. Catherine Sheriffs has more.
Fishing for plastic is 10-year-old Emma Kitty's good deed for the day.
A lot of people litter, and I really don't think that's good, but we're trying to pick up the plastic and stuff that's in the water, so it's cleaner.
She's just one of many who gave up Sunday to help clean the mountain. Garbage bags in tow, they comb the forest floors for the things that people leave behind.
Some paper, some cups, some things to put in the trash.
For the people who enjoy the mountain every day, giving up one afternoon is worth it.
To set a good example for my children and the children who see me, to help the community and keep our parks beautiful.
From golf balls to a ratty old blanket to a discarded flip-flop, the volunteers are amazed at what they find.
We found a sleeping bag, really old out there.
A bottle of beer, we found even some clothes and some syringes as well, yeah.
Syringes?
Yes.
Despite the bag loads of trash, organizers say it is getting better.
19 years ago when we started this, there were the mattresses and the car tires and what have you, but people are a lot more conscientious about recycling in general, garbage collection in general.
They say a lot of the trash is probably dragged out of the garbage bins by animals. But it's up to Montrealers to pick it all up and keep the space clean for future generations. This little volunteer couldn't agree more.
We have to keep our world clean.
The nice weather brought 475 volunteers to the mountain today. In the end, more than 100 trash bags were brought in, well above the 60 collected last year. It's an environmentally friendly trend that organizers hope to see continue in the years to come. Catherine Sheriffs, CTV News.
Got to get rid of that twass. When we come back, tonight's Power of One, bringing a little hockey and a little hope to a painful struggle.
Where is engineering excellence taking us? GMC Terrain has better highway fuel efficiency than even Ford Escape Hybrid. May the best car win.
Look, paparazzis! Quick, James, smile and suck in your belly.
To celebrate its 50th anniversary, Broe Martin will make you a star for a weekend. You could win one of 50 glamour weekends for two in Paris. Plus, we pay the GST and QST, and you can pay 50 interest-free payments. This set is $999. This front-loading set is also $999. Offer ends this Tuesday at Broe Martin.
Fall in love with fish from Marina Del Rey. It's so easy. It's revolutionary. Tender filet marinated in gourmet sauces, sealed in a package that's ready to poach. Now anybody can cook chef-designed recipes like salmon teriyaki and orange and mango tilapia. Your family will fall in love with the great taste of Marina Del Rey. Ready in just 6 minutes. Marina Del Rey.
Introducing Rona Advantages. Take advantage and get more out of Rona. Save money. Up to 5% on all your purchases for the year. Plus, collect more Air Miles reward miles. Up to 2 times more. Save money, collect extra Air Miles.